Hello children, how are you all? I hope that you all are doing well. So, welcome back, and today we are going to start with our new topic, that is punctuation. I hope that you are understanding everything, okay? So, moving on to our new topic, that is punctuation. Now, punctuation is really important. When we talk about punctuation, what is punctuation? Now, we've understood in our previous video about sentence, types of sentences, parts of sentences. Now, when we are writing a sentence, it is really important that apart from the parts, we also focus on the punctuation. These are the punctuation marks. Now, you will ask me a question, Ma'am, how many punctuation marks are there? And to that, I will reply that there are many punctuation marks. Now, you will get scared and ask me, Ma'am, do we need to memorize all of them? You don't really need to memorize all of them because I have summarized the main and the very important punctuation marks in 7 for you all. These are the main 7. I'm not saying they are just all. There are many other punctuation marks also, but these are the important 7 punctuation marks that you must know. Okay, so I will just read them out for you. The first one is period. You must have heard this word, and if you've not heard, period is a word that we use for full stop. Okay. Second is comma. The other one is question mark. Fourth one is exclamation mark. Fifth one is inverted commas. The sixth one is semicolon, and the seventh one is colon. Okay. So you can note them down. It is important. Now, this one is important that you note these punctuation marks, okay, because there are many, and if you find any punctuation marks which you don't understand, you can just comment. I will explain that punctuation mark in our upcoming video. Okay, so moving on. Now, we are going to discuss one by one all of these 7 major important punctuation marks. Starting with the first one, that is full stop. Full stop or a period, you can say. It represents the longest pause. You must have seen that we put a full stop at the end of sentence. It is used, okay, that's our next point. It is used at the end of a declarative or imperative sentence. You remember types of sentences? I hope you do. So, at the end of every sentence, we put a full stop. So, example, Richa is a good dancer. Okay, where am I going to put a full stop? We are going to put the full stop at the end. So, remember it. Okay? Moving on. Now, the other thing is, so it is used for abbreviations and initials. Now, what do you mean by abbreviations? Abbreviations are the short forms. Okay, I need not write it. Abbreviation means short forms or initials. Okay, example, he has done MA. Now, what is MA? When you will grow up, you will come to know that MA is Masters in Arts. So, whenever we have to talk about somebody's qualifications or we are using abbreviations, that is short forms, we will always put full stops in between. So, he has done MA. Another example, Sonia is an MBA. Again, don't forget to put the full stops. Okay. So, moving on to our next punctuation mark, that is a question mark. Now, this is very easy for you guys because we have discussed this before also. So, it is used for a question. It is also called the mark of interrogation. Another word that we use for a question mark is the mark of interrogation. Now, okay. When did you sleep last night? What time did you sleep? If I'm asking you this question, what will I put? A question mark. Okay. So, giving you an example, it says that where do you live? I'm asking you, where do you live? You put a question mark. Can I visit you today? Okay. Again, a question mark. So, I hope that this is very simple for you and you will be happy. Okay. The next one is exclamatory mark. Again, we have discussed this before also. It is used at the end of exclamatory sentences. What were exclamatory sentences? I hope you remember them. That they show sudden feeling, strong feelings, ouch, that hurts. Okay. So, example, alas, we lost the match. Again, you have to put the exclamatory mark. It's very important. Okay, what a lovely gift it is. Suppose it's your birthday, then I gift you something. You open it and you like it really much. So, then you say what a lovely gift it is. Okay. So, exclamatory mark. After that, we have comma. Okay. Now this is important. Comma is very important. Why am I saying this? Because comma is used in many different places. Like for different features we'll study, okay? So it is used to express the shortest pause. You remember what was the longest pause? A period was the longest pause. But when you come to think of it, comma is the shortest pause. Shortest pause in a sentence. But, and you remember about full stop, a period, it always used to come at the end. But a comma cannot. It is never placed at the end of sentence. Why? Because agar मैं कोई pause दे रही हूँ, if I'm giving a pause over here, okay, which means I have to say something more to it. I cannot put it at the end. Okay, so now one by one, be very attentive. We'll be discussing where the comma is used. Okay. Now, the first one is to separate words such as yes or no from the sentence. If I ask you, did you do your homework yesterday? You will say, yes, ma'am, I did my homework. Okay, so here again, another example. If I ask you, did you go to the party last night? You will say, yes, I went to the party. Now you say, after yes, I'm giving a pause, a small pause. So for that pause, I'm using this comma, okay? So to separate words such as yes or no, we use a comma. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Okay, now moving on, we'll see the another use of comma where we're going to put this comma. Okay, to separate words in a series. एक series में हम बोल रहे हैं तो मुझे separate करना है. Okay, for example, I ask you, what do you like to play? You saying, ma'am, I like to play badminton, hockey and baseball. So badminton, comma, hockey and baseball. Why? Because you are talking in series. Okay. Another example. My mother kept apples, oranges, pomegranate and grapes in a basket. Okay. Now you see here that my mother kept apples, oranges, pomegranate. Now you see they are all in series. We are talking one after the other and then we are using a comma. And at the end you all know that we'll use and grapes in the basket. Next sentence. I love to read. Okay, I ask you, what are your hobbies? What do you do when you are free? Okay, then you reply to me and say that, ma'am, I love to read books, play badminton and watch movies. So when you're talking in series, again you will put a comma. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. We will move on now. Now, another use of comma. It says that in a letter, immediately after the salutation and at the end. Now, which letter am I talking about? Yes, it's the letter that we write to our principal or to our friends or to anybody. The letter that we write in the writing portion, you remember? Okay, so whenever we write this, my dear Rohan, we'll put a comma because we are pausing after that. It's a rule. Respected madam, again a comma. Yours sincerely, you must remember that in the previous classes you used to write letter to the principal, right? And at the end we used to write yours sincerely, yours obediently. So we put a comma at the end. Yours affectionately, okay? So we put comma over here. Moving on, another usage of comma is to separate question tags. Now, how to separate question tags? Think about it. How are we going to separate these question tags? Think for a while. How, like, what question tags ma'am is really talking about, okay? So, I'll give you some examples. Try to understand it. Okay. It is, Sunita has eaten. Hasn't she? Sometimes it happens that, suppose, you were at home and your dad was also at home, but your mom wasn't at home. And then she comes and asks dad, Sunita has Sunita has eaten, hasn't she? So here she is asking, उसने खा लिया क्या नहीं खाया उसने? I'm translating it so that it becomes easy for you to understand what the sentence is trying to say. So here I have put a question tag, hasn't she? क्या नहीं खाया उसने? She's asking over here. Okay, so whenever you have to put a question tag in a sentence, we separate it by a comma. So remember it. Okay, again, say you are waiting at the, say, at your house, okay, you are waiting, nobody is there, and you call your mom that where are the keys? Then she says that I gave you the keys, didn't I? Again, you see it's a question tag over here, and we will separate this question tag again with the comma. So do not forget this. These points are really important. That's why I mentioned that comma is, as a punctuation mark, it is very important because there are many different places where you use this mark. I hope that you are understanding these. So moving on. Okay, there is again one more. Okay, so it says that to separate expressions like of course, however, and in fact. Now sometimes we say of course, I would like to have a coffee, okay. So examples for this is, in fact, I am happy to be here. For example, your parents change your school, okay, and they're asking you, are you liking this school? Are you liking this place? You say that, in fact, I am happy to be here. I like this one more. So whenever you separate them with such phrases or such words, in fact, however, you put a comma over here. So to differentiate, okay. Now, the next one is, of course, we will go to the party together. For example, I'm asking you, how are you going? I have a flat tire, right? So please pick me up. So you say, of course, we will go to the party together. So again, for separation, you will use this comma, okay? Moving on, again, we have one more. This F1 for the comma, it says that to separate words, phrases, clauses and pairs of words in a sentence. Now, in our further videos, you will learn more deeply about words, phrases and clauses. We have already discussed about phrases in our previous videos, but for better understanding, you will be understanding it in the upcoming videos. So, let me give you an example. It says that the pencil and the paper, the bag and the bottle were placed nicely on the table. Now, what am I talking about? If you observe it closely, the pencil and the paper is a different thing, okay? And the bag and the bottle is different. So now these are two different things. I am combining them in a sentence. So I am using a comma, okay? So for phrases and clauses, we use a comma and verb placed nicely on the table, okay? Before leaving the house, your mom said that, please, arrange your stuff very nicely. When she came, then she was telling that the pencil and the paper, the bag and the bottle were placed nicely on the table. Okay? So I hope you understand this. Moving on. Now, the next type of punctuation mark that we have is inverted commas. Okay, these are very important. Inverted commas. Okay, now it says that inverted commas or what? Another word that we use for inverted commas is quotation mark. Quotation mark are used to indicate direct speech. They are used to state exact words of a speaker. Now, you will ask that, ma'am, what is a direct speech? Direct speech is to quote somebody's direct saying in a sentence. The exact same words, okay? Suppose I said to you that I like your cap. Okay, now you go home and tell to your friend or to your mom that Chetna ma'am said that I like your cap. If you quote my same words in front of somebody else, that will be the direct speech. Okay, so inverted commas are used. Now, whenever you will tell somebody, you will put those in the inverted commas. And I like your cap. Suppose I said, I like your cap. So you did not change anything in my wordings? Yes. So when you don't change anything in the speaker's wording, it's called direct speech. Okay. So that's where when we use inverted commas. I will give you some examples of it. Okay. Now examples. The teacher said to Ram, comma, do your work. Okay. Now you see again we are using a comma over here. Why are we using? Just to separate, okay? Do your work. Now again, do your work is in the quotation mark, or you can say double inverted commas. Why? Because these are the same exact wordings of the teacher. The next example, the lady said, I am tired. Okay, suppose you met a lady at the road and she asks you to help her out and she tells you that I am very tired. So, you're going to explain your mom why you are late. So, you will say the lady said I am tired, again in the inverted commas. Okay. So, let us move forward. Now, our sixth punctuation mark is semicolon. Semicolon and colon. Now, children get very confused between semicolon and colon. Like, ma'am, we don't understand. What's the difference? Both are same. There's just a difference of one word, that is semi. Now, semi means small. Okay. Now, we'll read the definition. A semicolon is used to indicate a longer pause than a comma. Be very attentive in this, longer pause than a comma. Comma shows a shorter pause, small pause. I like to eat apple, banana and grapes. That was a short pause. But a longer pause than comma, it will be shown by a semicolon. Okay. It is generally followed by conjunctions like and, but or so. It's not a rule ke and, but or so ke baad hi semicolon aayega. It's just that usually we see that it is noticed that usually after conjunctions you will find a semicolon. Okay. Now moving further, it is used. Now we will read about the uses of semicolon. To separate parts of a sentence which have been separated by a comma. Now let us see how, what is this trying to tell you, okay? It is saying, I had a great weekend. I visited my friends, played golf and ate at a nice restaurant. Okay, I repeat this. To separate parts of a sentence which have been separated by a comma. Now, they have been already separated by a comma. You are going to separate them by a colon. Okay, I had a great weekend. Whereby, what did you do during that weekend? You are going to give a pause that these are the things that I did. Okay, I visited my friends. You see, you have put comma because it needs a small pause. Okay, comma, played golf and ate at a nice restaurant. Okay, so that's where we are going to use semicolon. I hope that it is clear to you. And moving forward, our last punctuation mark is, that is colon. That was semicolon and this is colon. There is no semi. Small nahi hai ye. Okay. Colon is used to indicate a longer pause. Now longer pause than what? Then a semicolon. Semicolon was used to indicate a pause that is longer, but it was longer than a comma. Don't confuse it. Semicolon is longer than a comma, but colon is even longer than the semicolon. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, now we are going to study about its uses. What are the uses of a colon? Now, number one, to either introduce a quotation or speech. Now, it is used to, like for example, in the quotation marks also we used comma before, but here we are going to use colon. I'll read this example for you. Jawaharlal Nehru said, again, colon. I want to emphasize on this thing. What did he say? He said, at the stroke of midnight hour, comma, because I wanted to give a small pause. At the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. It's a very nice quote that is said by Jawaharlal Nehru. So again, I've put it here like that. That's why we have a colon. We have a colon for the same. Okay? I hope it's clear to you. Okay? Now, again, another way the colon is used, it is used to introduce a list. When you are going, okay, suppose I'm giving you an example. Okay, let's say one of your friend goes to US and then you're giving a list, okay? So for that list, you can use a colon. From there, I want, you put a colon and then you write comma, 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 comma. Okay? Okay. Okay, so another example for you is here. The ingredients required for the cake. Now I want to bake a cake, okay? And you ask me, ma'am, what are the ingredients required for the cake? Now there are many ingredients, as you all know that there are many ingredients for a cake. So while mentioning the ingredients, I will use this colon because the list is long, yes? So I will write eggs, comma sugar, comma baking powder, comma butter and vanilla essence. So I hope this is clear to you that whenever I'll just repeat it for you, that whenever we have to introduce a list. We use a colon. So that will be all for today. These were the 7 major punctuation marks that you have learned. So congratulations, it's like a great achievement that you've done this. And if there is any other punctuation mark that you want me to discuss, just comment it below. Okay? Till then, take care. Bye-bye.